Okay, front passenger fender. Okay. When it comes to installing the smaller panels, it's probably best that you have some plastic tables that you can get wet. I find collapsible trestles works best because it just means that you can make whatever size you want, and then when it's taking up too much space, you just fold them up and put them away. It's easier to sit the material onto one of these plastic tables and hose it all off, clean it on the table, and then you can slip it all on there, and then slip the panel and then put the material on. So Brandon's now applying the slip solution, which is through our optics hose spraying and dispenser. So there's a little bottle that you put the soap into, and when you switch it on, it pushes the soap out with water as well, and you get the right amount, and you can cover a much larger area than just using sprayers or those pump packs, etc. So we're about to start lifting this material. So as I'm lifting the material, Brandon is spraying the slip solution. Okay, and now that it's off the backing, we just pop it onto the panel. All right, got to be careful on the vertical panels because as you walk away, quite often the actual material just slips off and slides onto the ground. So you got to be careful when you walk away from material that hasn't been locked in yet. So this has a little bit of rollover into the door. So just got to make sure we keep that. So right now we're locking the corner here. We flushed it out a little bit. And now we're flushing and locking that corner in. Then we're going to do the test. It seems okay. It's definitely not the strongest lock, but it's fairly locked. Okay, so from here, we're going to apply a little bit of heat on that corner because even though we're flushing it out, it still isn't sticking very well. That's just because there's a lot of detergent there, but we don't want to lift it up too much. So it's easier to just add a little bit of heat to it than to try and lift it up and clean it and touch it with your hands, etc. This is the point where you would pick up your steamer or your heat gun or your infrared lamp and heat that area up. I'm just putting a little bit of warm water on that area, and then that's instantly locked now, right? Glue is now activated because of the heat. And now we're going to lock this front corner here. So we need to flush out this other corner. Okay. Yep. Okay, that's good. Right, so we do down here now, right? Okay. So I'll get some heat onto that now. Get that, make that fully locked in. Beautiful. Okay, next we're going to flush this part, and these spears should go down without any stretching too, so that's good. So I'll pop that bonnet now. Okay. Okay, so we can get that locked in now, that top section. Right, here's a very, very nifty little trick, and that is when it comes to PPF, and you can't, sometimes, especially when you're using thick material like this, little spears, when it's wet, had soap, etc., and the glue isn't, the material hasn't had time to relax and the glue hasn't had time to really activate, it's very hard to make it stick down, especially if that there's like a couple of millimeter that is overhanging an edge. So that little bit of edge that's just, the water gets in between and then it wants to lift back. It's a very simple trick, and all you got to do is use masking tape like so on any edge and area of PPF that you're trying to keep down, whether it's because you're trying to keep it down from spears, or whether you're just trying to keep it down from getting dirty from because it's windy and the dust, you don't want the dust to get underneath it. Just use a bit of masking tape. That's all you got to do. Leave it on there for about, look, probably till either end of the day or tomorrow. I'll pull that off and that should actually all be all stuck down without any issues. This edge here that goes behind and tucks in between the door, that's going to take a lot of time. We want the rest of it to dry first. We're not going to work that anymore. We're just going to leave that for now. And then we're going to work on this door next. And then once we've got the door on, then we'll come back with the heat gun and just add heat to this area and open the door once we get the door handles back on and tuck it in. All right, so this is on, but there's still plenty of work and I can't really overwork this material at the moment. There's edges here that need to be rolled and they're not stuck down. There's edges along here that's not exactly stuck down either, so they need to be pushed down, but that takes time for it to dry. It takes time. Remember, it could be like an hour from now, it could be 2 hours from now, it could even be 5 hours from now before this wants to go down. Yes, you can put heat on it, etc., but there's a lot of dicking around with that. Let's just move on. Go to. Okay, so we're now moving on to the front door. And remember, we've already washed and prepped this whole entire vehicle yesterday. It's already been cleaned. I put ceramic coating on certain parts of the door, to make it easier to remove because it's such a big square flat panel. And making sure that there was no ceramic around the mirror area because I want those edges to stick really, really well. There's no ceramic coating around the door cup because we also want that to stick really well. Now then, because although we've prepped it and it's been in a clean environment, that was yesterday. Now we're about to put the film on, so we don't want to trust what we can and can't see. We just do it. So when I say we just do it, we're going to just quickly wash that door down again, just in case. You got to really get into this area. Even though it's a brand new car, there's always stuff hidden in there. No matter how many times you wash these crevices of trim, there's always sand and bits of dirt that keeps coming out of there. Okay. Again, slip the surface first because we don't want the material to stick to it. We want to be able to position it. We're rinsing off and cleaning the material, and now we're going to pull the material off the backing, and Brandon's going to be using the Optics hose spray and dispenser with soap, Johnson & Johnson soap in it, and he's slipping the sticky side of the material. And now that the material is all slippery, got to remember that this material has cuts, has a cut here to go around this mirror. Okay, so now that we've positioned this material around the mirror. We make sure that it's lined up at the top here, etc. Now we're going to start flushing to lock some stuff in. Start over around the mirror. Okay, lock that in. That's good. That's good. It's important to slip the outside of the material all times, because if you don't slip it, then the squeegee is not going to glide. Okay. Righty. Now we're going to deal with the door cup area. So we need to flush that out. When you're fitting patterns on a door with door handles in, normally what happens is there's a cut in the template that goes around the actual base of the door handle, and then has a straight cut line that cuts through there. So that way, when you put the material on, that cut allows you to go around that door handle, slide it underneath, and then they join back up. But you normally see an edge here, there, and you see a great big line there. We'll remove the door handles so we could hide, so that way there is no cuts that can be seen once we put the door handle back on. Which means from the template we had to adjust the actual template on the software and delete the cutout for that, which is why it's like this. And then once this is locked in, we're happy with it. What happens is then we actually push that in and then make the cuts around the hole and then put the door handle back on. What I'm doing is I want to make sure that this is locked in this corner here. So that's why I've just lifted this up a little bit and flushed it out with some clean water. And then Brandon's locking that in now. And now that corner is pinned down, it will stop any movement of the material this way or that way. Now Brandon's doing exactly the same thing on the whole bottom line there. He's flushing out that bottom edge. Got to put some slip on the outside so that squeegee can glide over. And now he's squeegeeing that water that he just flushed out with, squeegeeing all that out so that way it's locked in. See if you can get that. I don't know if it's sticky enough. No, it's not sticky enough. It's not going to stick yet. So with door handles, just press it down. If it doesn't stick straight away, it's not ready. Move on to another panel. Wait for that to settle so we can get that stuck down. Okay, rear door. We're going to have to trim a bit of that, aren't we? Yeah. Or would it go slide in, do you think, later? Okay. Try and get that up a little bit more, I think. Yep, that's better. It's close. Okay. Okay, let's lock this top in now. Let's lock up here, please, Brandon. Okay, let's flush over this part here now, Brandon, on this side. Stop. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And now that the door handle has been put back in, see there's no cut along here, and there's no outline cut there either. And now we're just going to pop the bubbles and tidy up lots of bits and pieces everywhere, and that will take another couple of hours.